Today I'm going to talk about the 28th President of the U.S. He served 2 terms from 1913 to 1921. Can anybody guess who he is? It's Woodrow Wilson. He was the President of the U.S. during World War I. His on-screen leadership made him one of the best U.S. presidents. In this presentation, I will talk about the important information, biography, presidential interview, president biopoem, presidential picture, presidential timeline, a classic poem, interesting facts, and the bibliography slides. Important information. Woodrow Wilson is the 28th President of the U.S. He represented the Democratic Party. He served 2 terms, which was 8 years as president, from March 4th, 1913 to March 4th, 1921. In both terms, his vice president was Thomas R. Marshall. He was born on December 28, 1856, in Staunton, Virginia, and died on February 3, 1924, in Washington, D.C. He was homeschooled, then went to the Davidson College, Princeton University, University of Virginia Law School, and then the Johns Hopkins University. He had 2 first ladies, Anna Louise Axon and S. Bowling Galtz. His children's names were Margaret, Jessie, and Eleanor Wilson. Now I'm going to talk about Wilson's childhood. He was born on December 20, 1856, in Staunton, Virginia. He had a father, Joseph Ruggles Wilson, a mother, Janet Woodrow Wilson, 2 older sisters, Annie Mary Ann, and a younger brother, Joseph Jr. His father was a Presbyterian minister, and his mother was the daughter of a minister. His name at birth was Thomas Woodrow Wilson, so he was nicknamed Tommy. When Tommy was barely 1 year old, his family moved to Augusta, Georgia. Many schools in the South were closed because of the Civil War, so he wasn't in school until 13. Now I'm going to talk about President Wilson's education. He was homeschooled for the first part of his life. In 1873, he went to the Davidson College in North Carolina. However, he became ill after studying there for an year and had to return to his home. In 1875, he went to the College of New Jersey, which is now the Princeton University. The future president was a speaker of a debate club, member of an eating club, secretary of the Football Association, president of the Baseball Association, and managing editor of the newspaper. He graduated from Princeton, ranked 30th in a class of 106. He earned a PhD in history and political science at the Johns Hopkins University from 1883 to 1886. He didn't serve in the military. President Wilson had an exciting personal life. After graduating from Johns Hopkins, Wilson dropped the name Thomas. He always called himself Woodrow Wilson after that. He married his first wife, Anna Louise Axon Wilson, during his study time at Johns Hopkins. During his presidency, he married his second wife, S. Bowling Galtz, a few months after Ellen had passed away. He had 3 children with his 2 wives. He loved to read, attend the theater, could play the violin, enjoy listening to music, and liked to play golf. My president had many accomplishments. Before Wilson was president, he earned a PhD from the Johns Hopkins University. This made him the only president to have a PhD. In 1902, he was elected president of Princeton, and in 1910, he became governor of New Jersey. In 1913, he signed the Federal Reserve Act, causing more banks to be built. In 1916, he signed a law prohibiting child labor and limited railway workers to an 8-hour workday. In 1970, he asked the U.S. Congress to declare war on Germany and successfully led the U.S. to victory in World War I. In 1918, he announced the 14 points as guiding principles to the world after World War I. His allies made it the Treaty of Versailles. In 1920, he earned the Nobel Peace Prize for founding the League of Nations and promoting world peace. After Wilson was president, his image was on the $100,000 bill, but the bill is not used today. He also formed a law partnership. I believe our president did a good job during his 2 terms. I admire that he managed to keep America out of World War I until they had to go in. The fact that he signed a law against child labor is also very interesting to me. The Federal Reserve Act gave a benefit to everyone because more banks were built. Many people call him one of the best U.S. presidents. He worked well with Congress, passing many laws. He helped America through a tough time in world history and helped in World War I. This is a presidential interview simulating I was a reporter and have been assigned to ask President Wilson 6 questions. Question number 1. Mr. President, tell us where you were born and something about your family and early life. I was born in Staunton, Virginia. My dad homeschooled me until I was 13. My family moved to Georgia and then to Columbia, South Carolina. People called me Tommy before I finished college. I always enjoyed playing baseball since a kid. I grew up during a hard time. The Southern states left the Union to form the Confederate States of America. The Civil War had begun. My earliest memories were of seeing Union soldiers marching into my town. After the war ended, the South rejoined the Northern states and the Reconstruction began. I saw great sadness. My early memory of war would make me work hard for peace later, when I was president. Question number 2. Where did you receive your schooling and what did you study? After graduating from high school, I attended Davidson College in Charlotte, North Carolina. I worked hard and earned excellent grades, but I was always sick, so I was forced to leave after barely 1 year and return home. At age 35, my health had become better. I went back to school at the College of New Jersey, Princeton University. When I graduated in 1879, I decided to become a lawyer and entered the University of Virginia Law School. However, I became ill again and returned to my parents' home. I studied the law by myself for 3 years. I passed the state examination and became a lawyer. After under a year as a lawyer, I was no longer interested in law. Once again, I went back to school and earned a PhD on history and political science at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. Question number 3. Why did you want to become president of the U.S. and what were some of the events that led you to such a position of greatness? I always dreamed of extreme politics. I became governor of New Jersey and did such a good job that the Democratic Party nominated me for president. I hope to make changes that would improve the national government. I worked hard with my new freedom program. I promised to de-out tariffs, strengthen antitrust laws, and rearrange the country's banking system. Voters liked my ideas, so they elected me as president. Question number 4. Please give us some background on the First Lady and some of the important things she did. I had 2 First Ladies, Ellen Louise Ashley Wilson and Edith Bowling Galt. In 1883, I traveled to Rome, Georgia on business. I met my first wife, Ellen Louise Addison. Later, we got married. Ellen was an outstanding wife who married the family and home perfectly. She was also a crucial partner for me. She edited my writing and also helped me improve my speeches and learn German. She gave me advice and encouragement. Ellen died within a year before my second term. A few months later, I met my new friend, Edith Bowling Galt. I liked Edith a lot. I married her before I was re-elected for my second term. She took care of my health and made my life grow happier. I went through I found a sweet companion who will soon make me forget the intolerable loneliness and isolation of the weary months since this terrible war began. Question number 5. Tell us about one world event that happened during your presidency and how the U.S. was involved, if at all. The most major world event that happened during my terms was World War I. During my first term, World War I started in Europe in 1914. I promised to keep the U.S. out of the war. In 1915, Germans let sink a British ship called the Lusitania. They killed many innocent British and American passengers. The attack angered Americans. I convinced Germany to stop attacking merchant ships. Voters liked my new laws. They were also glad I kept America out of World War I. I was elected to a second term. During my second term, I tried to help European leaders end the war. Germany broke its promise not to attack passenger and merchant ships. German actions angered Americans. On April 2, 1917, I asked Congress to declare war on Germany. 4 days later, on April 6, 1917, Congress agreed and the U.S. entered World War I. In January 1918, I laid out a peace plan in a speech called 14 Points, including the creation of the League of Nations. In the following months, Germany's military lost many battles. This led German leaders to accept my 14 points. Germany surrendered on November 11, 1918. But on June 20th, 1919, World War I officially ended. Question number 6. What do you feel was your most important accomplishment as president and why? I feel that signing the law against child labor was my most important accomplishment as president. All children shouldn't have to work at age 6 just so their families can earn more money. Presidential bio poem. Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow, president, peaceful, fair, funny, political, who led his 2 wives, his job as president, and fairness, who believed in maintaining worldwide peace. He wanted the U.S. to accept the League of Nations, keep the U.S. out of World War I, and make changes to make the U.S. a better country. He gave his children a good father, New Jersey a great governor, and a wonderful leader during World War I, who said, "We cannot turn back. We can only go forward with willing to die to follow the vision. America shall in truth show the way." This is a picture of my president. Presidential timeline. 1856. Thomas Woodrow Wilson is born on December 28th at Staunton, Virginia. Wilson entered the College of New Jersey, now Princeton University, in 1875. In 1879, Wilson graduated from Princeton University in June. He entered the University of Virginia Law School in the fall. Wilson married Ellen Louise Aston in 1885. He earned a PhD in History and Political Science from the Johns Hopkins University. Wilson becomes president of Princeton University in 1902. In 1910, Wilson is elected the governor of New Jersey. Wilson is elected the 28th president of the U.S. in 1912. Wilson declared that the U.S. would remain neutral in World War I in 1914. Ellen Louise actually dies in August. A German self-attack of merchant ships in 1915, and Wilson convinces Germany to stop attacking non-military ships. Wilson marries Edith Bolingo on December 18th. Wilson signed the Act of Banishing Child Labor in 1916. He is re-elected president of the U.S. Germany resumes to attack non-military ships. In April, Wilson asked Congress to declare war in 1917. The Allies meet to define the terms of the Treaty of Versailles to end World War I in 1919. In June, the treaty is signed, officially ending the war. Wilson earned the Nobel Peace Prize for Editorial World Peace in 1920. Thomas Woodrow Wilson dies on February 3, 1824, in Washington, D.C. Acrostic poem. Woodrow. Wonderful, outstanding, astonishing, delightful, remarkable, ossified, wise. Interesting facts. Wilson spent more than 30 years in school. He was the first president to hold press conferences. He was the only president to hold a PhD. Wilson was the first president to cross the Atlantic Ocean while in office. Only one other president was widowed and remarried while in office, John Tyler, the 10th president. President Wilson's face appeared on the $100,000 bill, but the bill is no longer in use. Bibliography. I used the web and library books to complete my report on President Wilson. I surfed the web at answers.com. I also borrowed 3 books from the Parkmont Library and Fremont Main Library. I enjoyed doing the research and learn more about President Wilson. I am proud to be doing my report on the best president of the U.S. Thank you.